when you consider a school our size and the level that we compete at, it's not possible without the Maroon Club. And the fact that you see my place in Lafayette's history at this level is humbling, and I'm truly honored to be here tonight sharing my fellow inductees. Thank you, Lafayette College. I'm grateful for the Lafayette experience. To me, it was more than the education and the degree and even football. It's the lifelong friendships, it's the brotherhood of an Algon fraternity, it's the lessons learned in that 4-year process of growing from a big-headed kid to a young adult. But Lafayette is also where I met the most important person in my life, Vicki Minturn, my wife. You know, football got me to Lafayette, football and the fraternity got me through Lafayette, and she's pretty much gotten me through everything since Lafayette, and I thank her. It is my opinion that being recognized for an individual accomplishment in a team sport is challenging. You know, in football, especially football, which I think is the greatest team sport, no disrespect to my basketball and lacrosse colleagues here. However, 11 players have got to execute at the same time. And if one of the 11 doesn't execute, the player of the team usually fails. The same can be said for individual achievement. It's the sum of the parts that contributed. I was 1/11th of a nationally ranked defense, which was awesome. Teams couldn't run against us. We put tremendous pressure on the quarterbacks. We had an offense that scored a lot of points. It created an ideal environment for me to be able to make plays. And I was just one piece of that puzzle, and all I did was what I was expected and coached to do. To that coaching, Coach Moglia, Coach Camaforo, thank you for making me a fundamentally sound and a confident football player. To Coach Russo, thank you for bringing back the winning tradition and culture at the Lafayette College that I think still exists today. And to Coach Sarah, thank you very much for introducing Lafayette College to Western Pennsylvania football players. Many of them are here tonight. And also, Coach Sarah, thank you for being like a second father to myself and many of us. You know, my involvement in coaching is sort of a direct result of having been touched by these men and seeing what it means to build character and attitude in individuals and how it can help create leadership. And I'm a firm believer we're going to need all the leaders we can get in the very near future. My father shared something with me when I was in high school. It's a passage by Robert Hastings called The Station. Most people know its message, you know, focus on the journey but not on the destination. My dad had a little bit of a twist in that. He said you also have to focus on the fellow passengers you meet during this journey. Enjoy the people around you, make new friends, find out what makes life important and what makes other people proud. And I've been blessed to be surrounded by incredible passengers. You know, family, high school friends, fraternity brothers, teammates, neighbors, colleagues. You know, many of them are here tonight. Some of you haven't traveled great distances. It's not practical to thank each of you up here individually. They wouldn't let me. But I hope to see you over the rest of tonight and tomorrow, and thank you. Sharing this achievement with the people closest to me is something I treasure. I am most proud to be standing here as Vicky's husband, as Anna, Beth, and Claire's dad, as Uncle Bob, as Jack and Joe's son-in-law, and especially as Bob and Joyce Marr's son. You know, I took it for granted when my parents made every football game from North Carolina to Maine without realizing until now that the shoe's on the other foot how big of a challenge that is. And I'm not sure I ever truly had the opportunity to say thank you. Mom, thank you. Two fellow passengers are not here tonight. I want to take a moment to note them because they're with me spiritually every day. John Byrne, who was my opposite at right cornerback, passed away 12 years ago at the too young age of 37. John graduated from Lafayette in '83, played cornerback, married a beautiful woman, had 3 lovely daughters. There but for the grace of God go I. I think of John often because I wear a medallion that I got from my grandmother. Coincidentally, John wore the same medallion. So every day when I put this medallion on, I think of John and how I have a day that he doesn't have to try to do something positive. Because, you know, there's a wise philosopher once said, 24 hours, maybe 60 good years, it's really not that long to stay, so make the most of whatever comes your way. And those of you who knew my dad can picture his smiling face right now. I know my dad was proud of my accomplishments, and still today, 13 years after his passing, he's a source of motivation and inspiration for me. If I'm achieving half of what he did in this world, I know I'm doing the right stuff. A little known story is my first week of two-a-days here at Lafayette. I decided I was leaving and going home, and I called my dad to inform him of that, and he said, no you're not, you're staying there, end of discussion. That was my father. Dad, I love you. In closing, this achievement has given me the opportunity to think back upon the successes of my life and this concept of being called versus being driven. I wasn't driven to attend Lafayette College, nor to even play college football. My dating Vicki, my career choices, and for that matter now, coaching high school football are not things I doggedly pursued. They all emerged on their own, in their own way. And the more I reflect on that, the more the answer becomes obvious to me that God has had a hand in all of this, calling me to live the dream He has for me. So in closing, I thank God for this experience, for making it all possible. I thank you for sharing it. I'm glad to be a passenger on your journey. Glad to have you as passengers on mine. Thank you.